we on? Let's get some music. Well, I think gosh, this is so sometimes. It's just me and streaming, isn't it? It's me and streaming. Me and streaming are always gonna be. I don't know. Alright. Well. Hi! Hello, everyone. I don't know. Again, I think I tried to stream to Twitter again, and somehow it just wasn't working. So, I'm gonna figure that out, I guess, and yeah, figure out how that works and not save anything. I don't know why it does this to me, but just on for a little bit again. I hope hope it's all alright, and I hope that you all can hear me okay. And once again, I can't hear the music, so I'm just gonna turn that music off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's the way it is. I don't know. I don't know why it does that, but you know what? We're doing our best. That's what we're doing. Anyway, here we are again, doing a little bit of. What did I say what we were doing? I can't even remember what I said on the stream. I don't remember what it is I called it. Well, we're doing a little bit of Code Academy again. We're going through all those iteration methods on arrays. You know, I've been getting on okay with all of this. We've started now. I have to go on and do. Oh, this is my hoodie. That's so unsightly. I should check my background. We have to go on now and do what's it called? Code Wars. Every day we gotta go and do a Code Wars kata. And let me tell you, it's an interesting thing because you know you can look at these things in isolation, but then you try to solve a problem with it, and it's a different thing. You know you gotta that then you have to like really start solving problems, really start setting out the steps that you need to get to the end of the answer. And it's a really interesting thing to just not look at these in isolation and just not look at them step by step, but to have to make the steps yourself. But I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it, and I hope that you don't either. If you're around that point, if you're around the same point as me, where you're going and trying to solve problems, because you get better, I think. I know Leon, and I am not a 100 devs teacher. I'm just going through my 100 devs homework and, you know, trying to maybe make the same, if somebody's having the same journey, and maybe just let them see what it's like to struggle along and get a little better. I hope that, you know, that I do improve as I go along, and that maybe if I look back on these, or somebody looks back on these, they can see the improvement, and that I didn't just get it straight away. It took me a little while, and I think that's all right for it to take a little while to get in here, because I'm used to thinking in very different ways. I'm used to thinking creatively, and I'm used to solving the problem of how people behave, because that's what you do as an actor. How would a person behave, or what example of behavior can you see? Because, you know, we all don't behave in the same way as well. But that's the thing with algorithms, is that yes, there might be different methods that you could use, but really There's only a finite number of things that you can do. And so you can improve over time if you keep looking at it. So what I do is when I get to my code wars and I do a kata, and sometimes it takes me a long time to figure it out, I put that in my Brainscape cards. And I look at them, and I don't know that I'm learning them, but I do look at them every day, trying to actively recall, or at least trying to actively understand how it is I got to the end, how I got to the solution. So I suggest that for you as well. Okay, here we are. We're going to do a few more array methods, iterators. I've gone through these already, but sometimes when I'm doing it here, I'm doing it in front of everybody, I get a little bit nervous. So let's go over and have a look at a filter. I don't think we've done filter yet. I know we've done for each, and we've definitely done map. You know what I learned today? Or at least I failed to remember and was reminded of today, that for each always returns undefined. I don't know why I didn't know that. I certainly didn't write it down. So here we are. We're going to use filter, the dot filter method. It's an iterator method like map, and it returns a new array. But it returns an array of elements that are filtered out for meeting a condition. So basically, it offers up a condition in the callback function that's passed to it, and if that element, then iterates over each element, and if that element meets that condition, if it's true for that condition, so filter returns a boolean, true or false, and if it's true, then that's added to the new array. Right? So we're looking at the example that they've got here. They have an example, an array called words, and there we are: chair, music, pillow, brick, pen, and door. And we want a new array now called short words. So we declare that array, and we want to filter out every word in here that is less than 6 letters in length. So you see we have one word here, that's pillow, that's P-I-L-L-O-W, that's 6. And then we have some 5-letter words and 3-letter word and a 4-letter word. So we want to iterate over all of these elements, and we say, okay, let's look at this first word. This first word is chair. So that's the word. Word is chair. Now what's the length of chair? It's 5 letters. Is the word length less than 6? The answer is true, and so therefore that will be passed into the short words array. And then it goes to the next one. For music, is it true? It will do the same thing. Is it music? The length of music is 5 letters. Is that less than 6? Yes, it is, and so that gets part of the shorter word. So they say, let's check words. Is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 element array that has 6 elements in it, some shorter, some longer, and short words is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 element array because it's passed in words with 5 letters, words with 3 letters, and words with 4 letters because all of those were less than 6. Important to note that the words array was not changed, so it doesn't make a change in place. So that's important to remember. Hey, did I tell people that I was streaming? I don't think I did. Maybe I'll do that now while I'm talking to you. How about that? We just go on good old X. I'm doing it on the wide screen and not on the screen that we're working on. And let's see. Did I say? Oh, I never did. Do do do. Do do do. I'm gonna just actually know how to do that. Never mind. Never mind. I don't quite know how to do it. I think I did it yesterday, but somehow didn't manage to do it today. I don't know. It's just like, it's like, how do I even? It's a wonder that I'm actually live, because I don't know how any of it really works. The old lady is figuring it out. The old lady and her cup of tea. I've got to get myself a really twee cup. And I'm going to maybe wrap myself in a crochet cardigan. Anyway, so that's by the by. I don't know how to tweet them, you know. Yeah, I don't know how to tweet it. Show advanced settings. No, I don't know. That's okay. Anyway, right, so let's get back to what we were doing. So we learned how to use the filter method. We know that it returns true or false for every item. It iterates over every item and it returns true or false. And then if the condition is true for each item in the array, then that item will be passed into the new array. So let's do our examples now. So we have an array here, random numbers, and it's got lots of different types of numbers in there. So we're going to call filter on random numbers below. And what do they want us to call a filter on? Filter method on random numbers to return values that are less than 250. And we want to save them into a new array, because remember the filter method does not change the array in place. It adds those items that meet the condition in a new array. So let's get a new array called small numbers, and we're going to let that equal to random numbers dot filter. And what do we pass in? We pass in a callback function, and we'll call each one num, and we want to pass back to small numbers any num that's less than 250. Actually, we don't. Let's do this all on the same line. Why don't we do that? Because it's only. So we'll use an implicit return. So for each number, the condition is number has to be less than 250. Shall we check that to see if we did it right? And we did. So that's what the fat arrow does, is give us an implicit return. So that's, the function. We've written an arrow function here. The arrow function is passed in the throwaway variable, if you like, for each item in the array called num, and we can have an implicit return because it's not a lot that's going on. We're asking for one condition. There we are, num less than 250. All right, so we did that well. So we have another one here. Let's work on an array of strings. So that was an array of numbers we started with, and now we have an array of strings here called favorite words. And what's Code Academy's favorite words? Nostalgia, hyperbole, fervent, esoteric or esoteric, and serene. Those are lovely words. So we want to do, here are the instructions over here. We've got an array of strings. Invoke filter on the favorite words array to return elements that have more than 7 characters. So let words with more than 7 letters. And we save it to return array. We save the returned array to a variable called long favorite words. So let's declare our variable const long favorite words, and let that equal to favorite words dot filter, and we're going to pass in our callback function. Let's call each item a word, and we want to pass in word. And what are we asking for? Word.length is more than 7. And why don't, so let's see if we've done it first. And why don't we console.log long favorite words, just so we can see what they end up with. Nostalgia, hyperbole, and esoteric. Isn't that fabulous? And we could have console.log. Let's go up and console.log our small numbers as well, just so we can see it. Console.log small numbers. And as you can see, it passed in not just the integers, but also the floats as well, because a number is a number in JavaScript. I think, is it in Python? I don't know anything about Python, but is it in Python that you have to declare the type, and an integer and a float are 2 different things? Is that right? I don't know. I'll learn about that anon, I guess. So there we go. We've learned a little bit about filter. Like map, it returns a new array. So we have to save that array somewhere in a variable if we want to be able to use it. And with map, you can do something to every item in the array, but with the filter method, that returns a boolean, true or false. And really what it does is it filters out from the original array elements that meet a condition. So for our small numbers, we wanted numbers that met the condition of being less than 250. 200 is less than 250, as in 3.14, as is 7, as is 13. So that's the condition. It will go over every item and it will say, is it true that this item, this number, is more than 250? False, move on. Is it true that this one is less than 250? True. So we add that to the small numbers. Again, for the next one, is it true? Yes, it is. Add that to small numbers. For the next one, 7, is it true? Yes, it is. Add it to small numbers. 13, is it true? Yes, it is. Add it to small numbers. Go to the next one. Last number, is that true? No, it's not. So we just move on. And moving on means we've come to the end of the array, and then we can return our new array. And same here. This one was filtering out words that met the condition true for being longer than 7 letters. I think we did good. We did really good. We can go to the next one. I might have to reset them because, as I said, I did go through these. So let's reset, please. Thank you. Okay. findIndex. Now this is good for me resetting them as well. I went through them not knowing if I was going to stream or not today, and I'm streaming for a little bit. I think maybe for about half an hour because I do have to go to work. I'm always just right before. I was hoping to stream for about an hour today, but I didn't make it. But let's see what we can get through in the little time that we have. And hopefully this will be saved on my video on demand, and I'll be able to upload it to my YouTube as well. I know I feel as if I'm doing my learning out into the void, but I think that's all right. At least I'm saying it out loud, and by saying it out loud, then I'm teaching myself, really. And if I'm teaching myself, then maybe that's okay. Maybe that's enough. But anyway, let's go on. We've talked about that before. Okay, so sometimes we want to find the location of an element in an array, and that's where we use the findIndex method. Have I taken out that music? Yes, I have. Okay. So, yes, I just didn't want there to be music because I can't hear the music. Sometimes I can hear it, sometimes I can't hear it. Streamlabs is so weird to me sometimes. I don't know. It does various things. So here we are, findIndex. It returns the index of the first element that evaluates to true. So here we have an array called jumbled nums, and it just gives you different numbers here. Right, do you see it? Jumbled nums. And then we have to put it in a variable what we're looking for, and that will be an array. And we want to find the number, the first number, that is less than 10. So it will go through each number of the array, and it finds, here we are, at 5. Is 5 less than 10? It's true. What index are we at? Index 4. Index 0, 1, 2, 3. Index 3 is the 4th item in the array. I got myself caught. You see? I got, as Leon would say. The 4th item in the array, which is at index 3. Now, look, you see, there's another one in the array that's less than 10, but it won't get to there because it will only return the first one. So here, there you see, what's less than 10? The first one, the index is 3, and if we run the array and we say what's the element at index 3, it will tell us that it's output 5. The number is 5. And if there isn't a single element in the array that satisfies the condition, we get -1. Well, this is really good. And I think that's the part of this method that's the most important thing, right? Because sometimes you want to know, does this element even exist? If it doesn't exist, then you might want to add that element. Or if it doesn't exist, then you might want to go back and say element not found. And so that might be a good condition to test for. Is it not there? And then you can carry on to do whatever it is whatever you need to do to manipulate your data. All right, okay. So here we are, animals. We have an array of animals here, hippos, tigers. So if we wanted to look through this array and find out, does this array, I'm losing my mind. Does this array have the word dog in it? So you go through, we say find index of dog, animals dot find index dog, and it will come back and it will say -1, and we go, oh, it's not there, so maybe we can push dog to the end, or we can return to the user, that animal isn't in this list, try again. Good. All right, let's see. So what are they asking us to do? Find the index of the element that has a value elephant. Okay, const found animal, and we want to animals not find index animal equal to, so you see, it's not just a case of putting find index and the word animal in there, is it? Because we need to pass a callback function into find index. What would happen if I didn't put in a callback function and just put in what it is I was hoping to find? Ah, there you go. Animals. Elephant is not a function. So you do have to. All right. Yeah. So it's like errors, right? Call stack errors are so. I don't even know what any of that means, but it's so over the top, isn't it? It's like error. Oh my gosh, you've done something really horrible. Anyway, so for find index, you know, you gotta remember that you gotta, even though you're just looking for one thing, you gotta pass in a callback function. So let's do that. Remember, animal. Do I even need to do that? No, I don't even need to put it in parentheses because it's just one thing. So animal, fat arrow, animal equals, and what? And we're using more than one. Yeah, that's still correct. Okay. And we can call, should we console.log found animal. We'll do that in a minute because it'll give me a, let's do it. There you go. And let's see if that's correct. So there's the index of 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the 8th element in the animal array. And we know that the 8th element is length of array minus 1, which is 7. All right, that's this one. It keeps telling me that I'm not doing the right thing. So let's see if we can find the index of the first animal that starts with the letter S. Calling index on animals. We're going to assign that to a variable called starts with S. So const starts with S. So animals dot find index, and let's put in our iterator animal, and we want now strings are iterable objects as well, so we can find the first item, the first letter of a string by using bracket notation as well. So we want the first one, animal 0, and we want to know, is there one that starts with S? And the first one should be console.log. And let's guess if we get it or not. Starts with S. So the first animal is the 4th animal, which is seal. And so that will be at the 3rd index. So let's see. And we got it. We were able to do it. So we found, when we were trying to find the index of the animal, so we have our iterator variable, so we'll go for each animal, and for each animal we want to return animal, the first letter of animal. So this animal is kind of like saying animal 0, 0. So by using an iterative variable, it's going animals 0, animals 1, animals 2. So it's kind of like, you know, using the index, but we don't have to use the bracket notation to iterate because we're able to use an iterative variable. So that's why this animal square bracket 0 is not just me looking at this first item here, because this iterative variable is taken, I'm doing it on the wrong screen. Yeah, so let's do it here. So normally if we're iterating using like a for loop or whatever, we would use the name of the array and square brackets. So animals 0 would be hippo, animals 1 would be tiger, animals 2 would be lion, etc. But because we use this in these iterative methods, we only have to use a variable that says each one of these goes into animal. So that's why when I say animal 0, it's not just, well, it wouldn't be because the name of the array is animals with an S. But if I say animal 0, it means look at each one and look at the 0th position in that item. And this is a string, which we can get various letters from a string using square brackets, and so therefore animal 0 is the first letter of each string, and we wanted to find the first one. Let's start with S, and we saw that seal, which is the fourth item in the array, which therefore would have an index of 3, was the first one, and that's how we were able to get 3. So that's it. We were able to do a couple of things in our little half an hour, and I was able to explain it to you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming through. That was kind of cool. And I know I have gone through these before, but it doesn't mean that I remember. So it was good to be able to go through them with you again. And let me see, what's the time? Oh, I gotta go. But I was wondering if I could maybe do my, let's see if we could get it over here. Maybe do some of my, yeah, why don't we do that? Let's do this really quickly. I'll do this, see if I can do this in 5 minutes, because this is like really, it's not using any of the advanced methods. We're just literally creating arrays and putting stuff in it. Okay, so let's create an array of movies with at least 3 movies in it. So we're going to call this movies, and we're going to make an array. That's it. We made an array. Open, close, square brackets. We'll put 3 movies in there. So Amadeus. Let's put Independence Day. And let's put Sister Act, which is my favorite movie. Even though it's, you know, I know it's like some people's guilty pleasures, but you know what? I'm not even having it. So that's my array. That's it. I've done that. Using the array from above, store the first movie in a variable. I can't even spell Amadeus. Okay, so we're gonna say let, because this might be able to change. Let best movie equal, and we're going to use movies, and we want to store the first item in the array, and they've seen that it's 0 indexed, so we will get the first movie by looking for the movie at index 1. We're cooking with gas. Length of the original array, and we will store that in a new variable. So let's call this let movie length movie size movies library. Yes, movies lib, and we will store in it movies dot length. Now we're going to get the last element. What would your solution be? Okay, right. So we're going to get the last element, and we're going to store that in a way. Let last movie be equal to movies. So we've stored movie, the length of the array already, in a variable called movies lib. But we know that our length of our array, our movies array, is 3. But is the index of the last one 3? It's not. So if this is index 0, so movies 0 will be Amadeus, movies 1 will be Independence 2, movies 2 will be Sister Act 2, and movies 3 would be undefined because we have nothing yet. So the last movie will not be movies 3, but it would be movies 3 minus 1. So that's the way to find the index of the last movie. So if I kept adding, if I put this in a form and I kept all the movies that I loved, then I could say what's the length of the thing. If I added 50 movies to this, then the length of my movies array would become 53, and therefore the item at the last point in the array would not be movies 53 in square brackets, but because we started counting at 0, it would be movies 53 minus 1, which is movies 52. So that's why it's good to store the length of the array in. I could have just put movies.length in here, minus 1, and that would have worked as well. Okay, that's it. We were able to do that, and I was able to finish it with enough time to go and have a glass of water and put my trainers on and go entertain the masses. Thanks for joining me again. That was so cool. You're all so cool. And yeah, hopefully I'll stream again, and hopefully I'll be able to tell people, boy oh boy. One day I'll figure it out. One day. But anyway, take care.